All right, Ravens flock, what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. So, it is time to talk about the second preseason game. The Baltimore Ravens will be taking on the Dallas Cowboys in the second preseason game on Saturday. We have to discuss this. Okay, first of all, in case you didn't know, there's no practice today. There will be no practice tomorrow. Obviously, a preseason game's about to happen, so they wouldn't practice tomorrow. They resume practice next week, and that'll be the final week of training camp. Also in the news, the Ravens Commanders joint practice that was supposed to happen next week has now been canceled. The two teams came to a mutual agreement and decided to cancel that joint practice, so there will be no joint practice next week. It's unfortunate. I was really looking forward to seeing that. Just one more test for the Ravens against a really good team just before the regular season starts, but I guess we're not going to see that. It is what it is. Anyway, we are here to talk about the preseason game. Now, of course, it's the preseason, and everybody says the same thing. It's the preseason, nobody cares, it's irrelevant, it doesn't matter. What you gotta understand, which I've been saying this for years on this channel, what you have to understand is that the preseason is for two types of individuals: rookies and players that are fighting for a roster spot. That preseason is their opportunity to showcase in live game action what they're capable of, to try to make the roster. As for the rookie side, it's their first taste of NFL action before the regular season starts. So it's great to get them a little bit accustomed to how NFL speed goes. Even though it's the preseason, it's not the most complicated aspect. At least they're getting small doses of what they will actually experience come regular season time. So the preseason is for the rookies and the guys fighting for a roster spot. That's why it does matter, because when you're looking at that back end of your roster and you're trying to figure out who should be on the team, you look towards the preseason and say, that's a guy that's made plays. He made plays, he made plays, he made plays. We got to keep him on the roster. So that's how it works. A guy that's showcasing it in practice and then executes it on game day in the preseason will get a roster spot. That's why the preseason is important. You've got to fix up that back end of your roster and figure out who should be here and who should go to your practice squad and who should ultimately be cut. That's how it works. So that's why the preseason is very important and vital when it comes to the aspect of, what you're assessing and what you're looking for when you are building your roster to get ready to compete in the regular season. So here we are, second preseason game against the Cowboys. What to look for, what to expect? A lot, actually. In terms of what to expect, I think everyone expects the Ravens to showcase a lot, both offensively and defensively. Really doesn't matter if we win or lose the game because of the preseason, but this is John Harbaugh and this is the Ravens. They want to win the game. So what to expect? A Ravens win. If they execute the way they executed last week, especially defensively, they're going to win the game. So that's what to expect. What to look for is a whole different avenue. First of all, Cooper Rush gets to go up against his former team. Granted, it's a preseason game. It don't really mean much, but he gets to go up against his former team in the Cowboys. So I'm looking forward to seeing that, because Cooper Rush did not showcase anything last week against the Colts that makes me feel comfortable with him being the backup. And we know what he's capable of because he was a starter at some point. He had to start for the Cowboys when Dak Prescott went down, and he won football games for the Cowboys as a starter. So we have seen this guy win NFL games as a starter. He has the veteran experience. He has to showcase this here in the preseason. We got to see something from him. Now, he's technically in a quarterback competition with Devin Leary, but I'm going to be honest, there's nothing Devin Leary can do at this point to win this backup role. It's clear as day. Cooper Rush doesn't even have to play well, and he's probably going to win the backup job over Devin Leary. Cooper Rush has been relatively solid throughout training camp. Devin Leary has been poor throughout all training camp. And even though we didn't see much of anything from Cooper Rush in the first preseason game, Devin Leary was arguably, well, he wasn't the worst, but he was one of the 3 or 4 worst quarterbacks that played in the preseason. So he's definitely not going to be the backup. He's most likely going to be cut relatively soon, maybe after the end of this preseason game, or they may wait until, they'll probably actually wait until the last preseason game happens, so you can have 3 quarterbacks. So you have Cooper Rush play in the first half, Larry play in the second half, and you can ultimately just cut Larry at the end of the preseason. So he's not going to be on the roster come regular season time, but yeah, he'll still play in these last 2 preseason games. Anyway, I'm interested in seeing what Cooper Rush is going to do, and I'm interested in seeing how he will perform. Hopefully he will give us a better performance here because, again, he's the backup. We would like to see some good things from him in terms of running our system, running our offense. I would like to see him look good in that. But most importantly, I want to see him do well so that we can see the receivers do well, which leads me to the receiving core being the next aspect that we have to look forward to. I really hope the receivers get an opportunity to showcase what they can do. Last week was so horrible for them, and I felt so bad because the quarterback play was so terrible. They weren't getting opportunities. The only person that relatively shined was Western. LeJohntay Western was the only one. I think he had 2 catches for like 41 yards, so he had 2 great chunk plays. And of course, he had the punt return for a touchdown, so he had already shined and showcased what he did. He's for sure going to make the roster. He's going to be our punt returner, or our returner in general for this upcoming season. But at least he got to showcase some plays as a wide receiver. Other than Western, no one else got to showcase anything, which was really annoying because when you go back and look at the film, there were times where guys were open. There were multiple times where we saw Devontae Walker get open, should have got the ball, and either the ball didn't go his way, the quarterback got sacked, or he just underthrew the hell out the ball, and you're just looking at Walker and he's just frustrated. And all the receivers were frustrated. This was an opportunity to showcase what they can do, and the quarterback play was so poor, none of these guys were getting the ball. So I'm hopeful that we will have a better quarterback performance in this preseason game so that these receivers can showcase what they can do. Some of these guys have been eating in practice. I would like to see more of what Kirkwood can do. Some of these receivers have been eating. Let them showcase that in the preseason game. Some of these guys are fighting for a potential roster spot or to potentially be on the practice squad. And when you have your quarterbacks not doing anything and not doing their jobs as the quarterback and not getting them the ball, it's horrible. It was awful. So I'm really hopeful that the quarterback play will be better because I'm looking forward to seeing what these receivers can do if they actually have the opportunity to get the ball in their hands because their quarterback is doing their job and getting them the football. So that's another aspect to look at. Another aspect to kind of look at is the running back aspect of this. Let's see how the running game is going to look. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Myles Gaskins and Dearness Johnson. Excuse me. It's going to be those two that are going to be the aspect of the running game for the preseason game here on Saturday. So be interested in seeing what they're doing. Both of them have been doing well in practice, so it'd be nice to see them go out there and continue to execute. Obviously, right now, Rashid Ali's banged up. Keaton Mitchell's a little bit banged up. You're not playing Justice Hill. You're not playing Derrick Henry, obviously. So, yeah. You know, you want to see what these guys can do. Granted, they're not going to really make the roster. Obviously, you're not keeping like 6 backs. You're going to most likely keep 4 and maybe have one of them go to the practice squad. So it would be nice to see what both of these guys are capable of and what they can do. Maybe they may end up on the practice squad. I don't know. I really don't know how many backs the Ravens plan to keep. I'm pretty sure it's 4. They may go to 5. I don't know. I'm pretty sure the 4 is pretty much solidified. You know the 3 that's going to be Henry, Hill, and Mitchell. And I'm pretty sure those 3 are secure for the most part, but I'm also sure they will have that 4th spot. And if it's going to be a 4th spot, it's probably going to Rashid Ali. So there's no space for any of these other backs, but it'd be nice to at least see what they can do. Maybe one of them could potentially end up on our practice squad. Who knows? But yeah, just a little bit of a focus on the running game. Another thing to really focus and lock in on, the offensive line. There's going to be some starters that are going to play. They're going to play some snaps. There is still a battle going on. Nothing has been official yet. It will probably be official by week 1, but nothing's been official yet. The left guard position is still a battle between Andrew Voorhees and Ben Cleveland. Voorhees may be winning the battle, but it's not over yet. They have not fully declared Voorhees to be the starting left guard. So that is a battle to look forward to in terms of seeing who's going to, win that. Does Cleveland find a way to close the gap, or does Voorhees extend his edge because he played really well against the Colts last week? So he looked nice, and it really looks like it's going to be his job, but still the competition apparently is still there for now because they've not said anything specific about Voorhees being the starting left guard. That would probably be announced by week 1, or we'll just have to wait until week 1 when we see him out on the field with the starters. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, that is an aspect that is going to be a focus on, but obviously you have to look at the right guard situation with Daniel Falele. His job is not in jeopardy. He's expected to be the starting right guard, but last week, not a good look for him. He played poor in that game. He had some good moments, but he also played poor in that game. And everyone knows the clip where he got bulldozed. That was a bad look. It's been really tough talking about Daniel Falele. the fans have been crucifying him. It's been bad to the point where the players and even the coaches are going to bat for him publicly. You've seen Rashad Bateman go to bat for him. You've seen Ronnie Stanley go to bat for him and praise him. And then you see Todd Monken go to bat for him and praise him and defend him. So he has to perform better. He just has to. There's no way around it. Just has to be consistent. That's it. He's had moments, he's had flashes, which is what they look at. They look at the upside with him and see the flashes, which is why they believe in him. But he's got to be consistent. Anyway, that one kind of got to me because it's just like, man, this has been a whole difficult thing to talk about. But other than that, I'm pretty sure that's it for the offense. Maybe you look at the tight ends and see if there's one guy that may end up being a potential spot in case Isaiah Likely's not ready to go for week 1, because they do like to have 3 tight ends. So if one of those guys can potentially showcase something, could be a good look. But other than that, that's pretty much the offense. Moving on to defense, let's see. Looking forward to seeing a little bit more from that secondary. Malachi Starks will probably be out there as well, alongside Mike Green. I hope Mike Green is actually able to get a sack. Last week, him and Adisa Isaac, they both at the same time came off the edge at the same time and got to Anthony Richardson. Mike Green got to him first, but Adisa Isaac's the one that ultimately got the sack. So I'm hopeful Mike Green can get a sack this week. And as for Malachi Starks, just continue to showcase the flashes you showcased in week 1. Continue to be consistent. It'd be great if he finds a way to get an interception. I would love a Mike Green sack and a Malachi Starks interception. Perfect preseason game to see. That's all I would need. Other than that, interested in looking at the pass rushing unit. Adisa Isaac, I just mentioned him. He's potentially someone that's going to make this roster, and they really like what they're seeing from him, and the development's been there. So, yeah, I'm interested in seeing what he's going to do out there in this preseason game. Teddy Buchanan, I think that's a name I'll probably be looking at in this preseason game and see what he can do. Other than that, I don't think there's anything too major. Oh, TJ Tampa. TJ Tampa is another one to look out for. I know he's going to be flying around. So I think in the secondary, the ones I'm looking at mostly will be, let's say TJ Tampa, Malachi Starks, Bo Braid. Those will be my 3 in the secondary. When I'm looking at the linebacking core, I'm specifically going to look at Teddy Buchanan. When I'm looking at that pass rushing unit, I'm going to be looking at Mike Green. I'm going to be looking at Adisa Isaac. Those are some of the names that's going to pop out. I'm interested in seeing what the defense can do this week. Oh, another name that just popped up, Ruben Lowry. He's been the talk of training camp, like the underrated talk of training camp. Ruben Lowry. I really want to see his name pop up at some point in this game. So hopefully we will get to see that as well. Other than that, not too much to really talk about. I think the defense performed really well last week, and I hope that they will perform that same way this week and help get a victory here to really showcase what some of these young guys can do. Other than that, I mean, I hope it's another strong week for Wester. It'd be fantastic if he returns another punt for a touchdown. Can you imagine if he has another punt return touchdown? Oh my goodness. His first 2 games of NFL action, he returns them for touchdown. Woo! Yeah, it's the preseason, but again, showcasing that would be amazing. And I hope he gets more opportunities as well in the passing game as a receiver to showcase what he can do. But other than that, I don't think there's too much to talk about. Oh, yeah. I don't know how I forgot about this. Tyler Luke. How will he respond in this second preseason game? In his first preseason game, he went 1 for 2. I believe he missed from 46, 47 yards. And then the second one was from 52 yards and he made it. So he missed from from just under 50 yards on the first field goal. And then he made it from 50 plus yards on the second field goal. So he was 1 of 2 on field goals. He made all those extra points, but it was just that one field goal that was leaning a bit too far to the left and ultimately missed. So I'm hopeful that he will, be able to showcase a stronger performance here. Then again, who knows how many opportunities he's going to have to kick field goals. With the way the quarterbacks played last week, it wasn't a lot of opportunities to really score. But yeah, Hopefully he will have opportunities, and if he does have opportunities, hopefully he will be able to showcase the level of consistency that he showcased in training camp so far. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think there's much to really talk about here. Again, it's the preseason. You're just talking about some of these rookies, some of the guys fighting for a roster spot, and then some of the things you're looking forward to seeing from some of the other vets that may be out there. But other than that, nothing really else to talk about. Anyway, that's all we've got here for this preseason preview, whatever you want to call this. That's all we got to talk about here. Games on Saturday. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we get a better performance from the quarterbacks and it actually is more watchable, as well as more beneficial for the receivers to actually do something because they get the ball. But we'll see what happens. With that being said, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm out of here, guys. Peace out.